Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. I know it's been a while since I've been out. Been dealing with family sickness, family COVID stuff. But now I'm back, feeling better. Everybody's feeling better. Everybody's good. We're blessed. So let's get to it. Brandon Staley, Coach of the Year this year. Now this is one of the more probable subjects. I think, when you talk about the Chargers, when you talk about all the talent they have, when you talk about the type of season that we think they're going to have, I think Brandon Staley being the coach of the year, I think that probability is up there, right? Excuse me. Now, I've talked about Justin Herbert as far as MVP odds, right? I've kind of touched on a few other players as far as, you know, possible awards and superlatives and things like that. I think Brandon Staley being coach of the year, I think that is the one. If I was a betting man, if I'm going to put money down, that's probably going to be the one that I'm going to take. Just based off of everything that's happened in the off season, right? Based off of the perceived improvement that the Chargers have had, and based off of everything that you no, Brandon Staley has, right? Based off of his perception that he has around the league, right? He's known as a smart guy, right? He rubs some people the wrong way. Going forward on the fourth downs and all that stuff last year, that did rub some people around the league the wrong way, but it is what it is, right? Everybody's not going to like you, but he is talked about with high regards, right? As him being a analytics guy, right? Him being a detail oriented guy. He is talked about in those circles as being a very smart guy, right? Um, One of the newer age head coaches, right, who kind of looks at the game a little differently, right? And you know, good or bad, you have to say that Brandon Staley is a guy who is respected in the Chargers locker room. He's respected in the Chargers organization, and I think players are buying into what he is selling. Right, this is going to be his second season, but first full season, right, with the draft, free agency, all of that stuff. His first actual full season with his mentality established, right, with his scheme established, right, with even just the little nuanced things, right. He's going to have a lot more impact this year than he did last year, for obvious reasons. Now, as far as coach of the year goes, right, this award is, it's much less politicized than the MVP award. The writers, they have no issues voting for a new guy, right? They have no issues giving a guy who is relatively unproven. They have no issues giving that guy an award, right, if he has a pretty good season. And I think with the improvements that the Chargers are going to make, obviously defensively, I think it is pretty much set up for Brandon Staley to, either win the Coach of the Year award or come into a very, very close second. Things could not really have gotten worse defensively last year for the Chargers, right? And they did everything that they needed to do to address, the holes and the needs on the defensive side. And I think a lot of people, again, especially for the voters, right? The perception is a reality, right? Tom Telesco has been with the Chargers for 10 years now, right? And, there have been some pretty good signings, to come along here and there, but there has never been really a wholesale philosophy change like the Chargers have made this offseason. So I think, when it comes to the coach of the year, right, let's say the Chargers do have a good season. Let's say they win 12, 13 games, right? I think a lot of people, particularly the writers who are going to be voting for this award, right, I think they are going to credit the, everything that happened in the offseason. Obviously, the play during the season. I think that's going to be credited towards Brandon Staley and not Tom Telesco, right? Tom Telesco does deserve a lot of credit, but again, there hasn't been really a wholesale, philosophy change that the Chargers have had in the 10 years that Tom Telesco has, been around and been in the GM role. So, and I think, everybody is giving Brandon Staley a lot more credit than Tom Telesco, and I have no issues with that because I do think that Brandon Staley has had his fingerprints on pretty much all of the offseason acquisitions, right? The trade for Khalil Mack, obviously the free agency stuff with J.C. Jackson, Kyle Van Noy, and I think he's had his fingerprints in the draft as well too, right? Isaiah Spiller, Zion Johnson, the three sub 4-4 guys, the DBs. I think all of that is a Brandon Staley thing. And I think he is getting a lot of the credit, and I think he does deserve a lot of the credit because I don't think Tom Telesco is going out and spending this much money without, a solid plan that, he is sold on. And I think Brandon Staley, when he got hired last season, I think he presented his plan. Everybody was sold. I think Tom Telesco was sold. I even think the Spanos family was sold on it as well, too. And obviously, they have allowed Brandon Staley the room, the leeway for him to establish the way that he wants this team to function. Right? He wants this team to function as a very, very smart, very detail-oriented team, right, with a ton of talent on it. And I think he wants it to operate very, very functionally. Right? He wants the guys to hold themselves accountable, right? There's a lot of leaders, there's a lot of vocal guys in the locker room. You got guys, coming from other teams, with Super Bowl experience, with a lot of playoff experience. So I think Brandon Staley really wanted to build this thing out, right, with a young quarterback, right, with some young pieces on the offensive line as well too. By the time this team really maturates, Herbert. A lot of the younger guys are going to have a lot of experience, right? And hopefully playoff experience. So hopefully when, the veterans on the team, when they do decide to hang it up or if they do go somewhere else, you're going to have your pillars there, right? You're going to have your Justin Herbert. You're going to have your Rashawn Slaters. You're going to have, your Derwin Jameses. You're going to have those guys, as your core, as the core of your team, going forward for many years to come. And I think Brandon Staley really, really sold the Spanos family on that. And, obviously he sold the fans on it as well, too. I do think that he will have a much, much better season than he did last year. I haven't heard anything as far as the play calling duties. I know he was calling plays last year. I don't know if he is going to do that going forward. It wouldn't surprise me if he would, if he would want to. There's a lot of talent on this team. And, he could really have some fun, with the play calling duties. So I don't know how he's going to adjust, his specific coaching style going into year two. But I do know that he recognizes this is as much of a golden opportunity as you get in the NFL, right? The Chargers have an opportunity. The Chiefs are perceived to not be as good as they were last year, right? I'm not a believer in that. I really don't believe the hype, but there's a lot of people who don't believe that the Chiefs are going to be as good as they were last year. A lot of people don't believe that the Bengals are, a real team, as they showed last year getting into the Super Bowl. So, as hard as this division is, as hard as the AFC West is going to be, things are set up for the Chargers to make a pretty deep playoff run, right? And I think, for Brandon Staley to win Coach of the Year, I don't think that the Chargers are, going to need to win a Super Bowl or anything like that. It's obviously a regular season award. I think they just need to obviously improve, right? You got to win. They're gonna have to win at least 12 games, right? For Brandon Staley to be a serious candidate for Coach of the Year. 12. I say 13 games. Will probably be good enough for him to win it. But I also think that the Chargers need some signature wins as well too. I went down the schedule. I believe it was last month or so. And there's opportunities for the Chargers to get signature wins. And again, the AFC West is loaded, so there is going to be, a lot of opportunities for the Chargers to get signature wins against their, own division rivals, at home, on the road as well too. So I think if they put together the season that I think they're going to have, if they have some signature wins, I think it's going to be enough to get Brandon Staley Coach of the Year. It's not going to take a whole lot, especially considering that, almost every NFL season, you see at least 3 to 4 new playoff teams, right? And so those are 3 or 4 teams that didn't make it last year, right? So these are coach of the year candidates in 2021 whose teams are not going to make the playoffs in 2022. So you know it's always a fluid situation, right? You look at the main culprits, the Belichick's, the Andy Reid's. Those guys are always going to be in it, right? But I think there's a lot of fatigue with those guys too. They've been around for so long. They have both won multiple Coach of the Year awards, and I think the media is always kind of they always kind of have their eye towards like the new trending thing going on. And I think if Brandon Staley has a good year, he's a guy that will be talked about a lot, and he'll be credited a lot, obviously, for the major turnaround that the Chargers had from the 2021 season to the 2022 season. I think people will generally just be interested in him because he is he's a relative new face around the NFL, right? A lot of people aren't that familiar with him, apart from the crazy fourth down call. So I do think that he is. I think he's in line for Coach of the Year. And like I said, the season just has to play out the way that we think it's going to play out. The Chargers have to be good, right? They have to take care of business. They got to clinch a playoff spot, right? And they have to probably have to win the division as well too. But all of those things are doable at this point right now on paper. But we're coming up on the season, pretty fast here, guys. We're a month out from training camp, and all of these stories are going to materialize into real life, right? And we're going to see how all this stuff plays out. So I can't wait. I'm very, very excited, and I'm very, very excited to be back making content as well too. So that's all I got for this one, guys. I just wanted to come in and just give my quick thoughts on the Coach of the Year talk that's going around, and that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you for all the support. Thank you, guys. I got a couple emails as well too, wishing me well. But just want to thank you guys for all the support. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. And that's all I got for this one. So until next time, take care. I'll see you tomorrow.